Welcome to Success Superstars, episode number 119, and my special guest, Sara and Lisbeth. Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you are here. First, let's just check in. How you doing? We've gone through coronavirus together. We've gone through other things together. How are you both doing?
Go ahead, Lisbeth.
Okay. Well, blessed to be here and safe and
Yeah.
We're doing good. We figured out different ways of communicating and keeping the business running, and with mentees, how to keep making sure you're valuable to them through this and keeping them motivated. So everything is really good. It was a definite, untreaded territory, but we learned through it.
What I love about what you've been doing is you've been resourceful in figuring out how to do things during this time. So that's really why we're here today, because I wanted to talk about, Sara, you're in the top 10% of mentors.
That's awesome.
In terms of how your mentees graduate and the feedback that they give us. And you're in the top 10% of our mentees who graduate the fastest. So let's unpack that a little bit and share with our audience, what are some of the things that you're doing as a mentor and one of the things that you're bringing as a mentee that make this work together? So Sara, let's just start with,
Sure.
How do you bring them on? How do you work with them?
Well, first we have set expectations, and then I have an open personal conversation with what their goals are. We just kind of dive right in. It's all about the energy. I start every mentee meeting with, I'm here to learn from you just as much as you're here to learn from me. And then there's always going to be a positive energy, a positive reinforcement, and they're always going to leave with a nugget. But again, it's what they take and apply, and that's their choice. I'm there to give information. We're there to give each other some little nuggets here and there. But once you get that, how are you going to apply it?
So I learned as a coach, which it sounds like you have great command of, is the minute you want it more than they do, you're no longer the coach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's good.
Right. So tell us a little bit, Lisbeth. Obviously you're driven and you wanted to be successful. How did the relationship start? And
oh well, Sara was actually my realtor.
so you converted a client.
Oh, I have. I know. A good one.
Yes, my husband and I invested in properties, and she was our realtor, and she made me fall in love with the industry, and here we are now.
So you saw something in her as you were working with her as a client.
Yes, that and
okay.
I've got a couple of mentees that have done that in my team. So I've looked at them and said, "You've got it, what it takes, and I'll show you how to get there, and follow me."
So you have an eye for kind of understanding and observing, discerning those that have what it takes. So what does it take?
It takes a lot of family support and effort, of course, but more than anything, family support, I think.
I think a lot of people forget and minimize the support of the family.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that and how you made that happen.
Well, I guess that I was very blessed to have that platform of entrepreneurship laid out by my parents, because I ran, along with my family, a family business of car sales. So I've been in the sales industry, so I've been able to apply most of everything that I used to do in the car sales business here, and also the real estate.
So it led you, what you learned in prior assignments led you to success.
Definitely.
Great. So what was the most impactful for you? What lessons, or was it more than just an individual lesson?
Oh, it was more than just individual lessons. Of course, Sara became the little angel that you typically see in movies, like right here. She became that little angel right here, like, do this, do that. This is how you do this. And so this is what I constantly tell her, Sara, you're that little angel talking to me right here.
That's right. Well, I tell them to be a solutionist.
Yes.
Try to figure it out first. There's options out there, and if you can't, call me. And if you can't, there's other mentees. Learn from each other, figure it out together, and so we're this constant opportunity to learn.
I love this tag you created. Be a solutionist. So what you're really teaching them is how to be resourceful, how to be which is all entrepreneurs, nothing is given to us, right?
Right.
And so it's amazing that they have someone like you to go to, because most of us have to figure it out on our own, right?
Right.
So being a solutionist, being a problem solver, I like to say we solve problems for a profit.
Absolutely.
We solve problems for a profit. So for you, what's been the difference? You see something in her, you see something in Lisbeth in terms of how she approached being a mentee that was maybe different than others who don't have the similar success. What's the difference?
So I believe that, again, we talk about working our sphere and open houses, okay, right at the beginning. Those are things that cost time, but not money. So I put in really simplicity things of call 10 people and know that perception is someone's truth. So we talk about having role play. So if I ask them, well, how long you been in the business? Well, we talk about their history because there's a connection of what they've done and why they're here. Because if you ask me how long I've been in business, since 99. I've been flipping houses and doing things. That's not how long I've been licensed, but there's a connection. What do you do if I'm sitting at a restaurant? What do? Don't tell them you're a real estate agent. That's a turnoff. You hear commission breath. You help people buy and sell homes and invest in real estate. That just sounds better. So we talk about that, and then we talk about how to have those 10 phone calls and write the 10 letters to 10 those are 20 different people, and then we're going to flip next week. And so you're going to call them and say, hey, just thought of you, and you're building that referral, that touching point, and by the end of the first month, you should have done 2 open houses and had 40 sphere in your pipeline, and then we just build from there.
I love it.
So it's just simple, and how to connect and how to make people trust you.
Yes.
Keep it simple.
Yes,
And you and I
absolutely.
speak the same language. I love commission breath. So many of us, our presentations need a mint.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because they reek of
They're terrible.
of what we need or want is a commission versus how we're going to serve the consumer to get the best experience.
That's right. We talk about taking commission. We change it now to compensation.
Yeah, I was about
You're
to.
about to say it. It is
love that.
compensation. You know, I have compensation for my time, just like if you were at work, you're compensated for your time. Because we all know we're going against this quote unquote perception of what we know that there's people out there that don't work, but I always tell them, do the things that not everyone else is willing to do. Show up. It doesn't matter if you're dressed up. Go sweep the floor. Be at the open house. Be of service.
Yes.
Got it.
And have don't just take the shirt off your back. Don't have any expectations of anything back. Just do it.
So you're demonstrating by example how to be a servant leader
Yes,
and teaching servant leader, being a servant leader.
absolutely.
So how was that for you in terms of switching from commission to compensation? Was that like a mental thing that helped you move into service better?
Definitely. Before being in the industry, actually, I thought of her like, oh, that's her commission. And then now that I'm in this side of it, I say, no, that's compensation for all the hard work put in to help your clients achieve their goals of homeownership. And so definitely changes the perspective.
Well, let's get in real quick. What are some of the things, because you graduated very rapidly, within less than 3 months. So what are some of the things that you do on a daily basis? Are there routines that you immediately started that you didn't have before? Walk us through some of those.
So the first thing I started doing is I went down my contact list and started calling all of them and saying, hey, I'm now licensed to help people buy and sell homes if you know of anyone. Okay. So that's the first thing I started doing. And sure enough, my sphere has responded and they have demonstrated their trust in me. And basically all my current clients have been all sphere contacts. And
do you have daily routines now that you're kind of past that you're continuing to do?
I haven't had time to establish a new one because they have me very busy.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
Well, as we wrap up this episode, is there any last words of wisdom you want to share with the audience about being a mentor and a coach? And then, Lisbeth, for you about being a mentee and a learner.
Being a mentor, is not an easy, but you've got to go into it willing to sacrifice your time, but being able to pour into others and not expect anything in return. And then just love people. I think that I want to see people be successful, and then I also want to be honest with them. Sometimes they just don't have it. and that's okay. And being okay with not this may not be your profession. So being honest, but pouring into somebody and seeing someone being successful so quickly, like many of them.
Right.
There's nothing like seeing somebody rise.
Being a servant leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite books that I read in the past is a book called Love and Profit. That they can come together. They're not separate.
They're not separate.
Yeah.
That's right.
And how about for you? Like, words of wisdom for people thinking about maybe coming in and trying this amazing profession.
Definitely getting out there, being at the meetings on time, being there, because if you're not there, well, it's useless if you don't make the effort to try to follow all the great advice you receive from your mentors.
Right.
Well, yeah, you're not
Right.
really going to get anywhere.
Have you always been naturally driven, or did you have to learn that?
I think I had to learn that.
Did your parents teach you that? Did you
parents-
want to learn that? How did you learn to be as driven as you are?
My father.
Mm.
My father, definitely an immigrant from El Salvador, got
Right.
here, achieved, a business, and has now laid out a legacy for his family.
Wow. Well, with that, I don't know how better we can end than with that story, the American dream. If you're looking to be a mentor or you're looking to be a mentee, we have plenty of opportunities here at JPAR, and we'll see you soon on another episode of Success Superstars.